Hello and welcome to the 3304 kickoff. For today, we'll be previewing the number 25 ranked Liberty Flames taking on the Virginia Tech Hokies. Hello, I'm Andy Alosi, and joined alongside me is Aiden Butler. And Aiden, a great matchup on our hands this weekend.
Great matchup this week. Very intriguing matchup as Liberty comes into Blacksburg ranked number 25 in the country. Virginia Tech unranked after beating Louisville last week 42-35. Big win for momentum there. And a game like this, what a lot of teams have done, a lot of conferences have done this season, is move to a strictly all-conference schedule. And a lot of people just might scoff at this game saying, it's Liberty, what does it do for you? It actually does a lot, both for Tech and Liberty. Increases more in-state play. It's big for recruiting, and especially for Virginia Tech, a team that's going to be facing Miami further down the road, a lot of other big ACC teams. This can be good for momentum. And just getting a lot of guys reps. Jermaine Waller will possibly be back. Rashard Ashby, still trying to get him up to speed. And hopefully, if all goes well, you can get a lot of younger guys some reps too.
Yeah, the Flames coming to this one with major success. They're 6-0, one of the very few teams to be undefeated so far in the season. And that's thanks to Hugh Freeze, his second year now at Liberty University. He's a former SEC coach, and they've done a great job transitioning the program from the FCS to the FBS. And more on that, we throw it to our reporter, Sheldon Moss.
Liberty now 6-0 on the season. They are ranked in the AP Top 25 for the first time in school history. And it's really quite remarkable when you look at the ascension of this program. This was a Division II school back in the 1980s. They moved up to the FCS, had a lot of success as a member of the Big South Conference, and then transitioned to the FBS level in 2018. They hired Hugh Freeze as their head coach, formerly at Ole Miss, and over the last 2 years, he's really taken this program to new heights. Now on the field, Liberty is led by quarterback MALIK Willis. Willis was a 3-star recruit in high school out of Atlanta, Georgia, and he was actually initially committed to the Hokies as a corner back in 2016. He decided to decommit and then play for the Auburn Tigers for a couple seasons, played with the Tigers in a backup quarterback role, and then transferred to Liberty in 2019. He sat out last season, but this year he's playing and the numbers are off the charts. Willis is completing 67% of his passes, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he's also a huge threat in the running game as well. So MALIK Willis has been the catalyst for Liberty's offense this year. And needless to say, going up against a team that recruited him in high school, I would think he's going to be very motivated to have a good game this Saturday afternoon.
Great point, Sheldon. MALIK Willis is a lethal quarterback for the Liberty Flames.
Yeah, he hit the nail right on the head. Willis, coming into this matchup, leads Liberty in rushing yards and also leads the country in scramble yards. Tech faced a similar situation last week in Malik Cunningham. They're sure to face more guys like that down the road. But Tech, mind you, has plenty of offensive weapons as well.
Oh, they definitely do. Hendon Hooker is back, and he is healthy for the Hokies, and he does it all with his feet. He gets more carries a game than throws, and it shows. The Virginia Tech Hokies are 14th in the ACC for passing yards a game, and they have the fewest completions in the ACC with 73, Aiden. But there's a lot more outside that quarterback position for the Hokies.
Yes, of course, and you don't really need to pass the ball when you run it so well. Tech, Khalil Herbert getting a lot of Heisman talk, and it has been a long time since the Hokies have seen such an innate combination of strength and speed. Khalil Herbert over 100 yards on the season, closing in on 1,000. A lot of people hopeful that he'll break that this week against Liberty.
Well, the Virginia Tech Hokies have been registering plenty of yards on the field this year, but they also registered the vote in a crucial election this year. For more on that, we throw it to Jake Lyman.
Yeah, guys, with everything that has gone on in 2020, the Virginia Tech coaching staff wanted to make it a priority to register all of their players to vote. They utilized the Beamer Bar in their indoor practice facility as a voting registration center, getting every single player registered, whether they came from Virginia or somewhere else. Coach Fuente said, "I've just encouraged them to be well-read. I certainly don't want to steer them in any direction." Although Virginia Tech has made this push, it's an ACC initiative as well. The Unite initiative by the ACC has asked all member schools to promote social justice and racial equality. Commissioner John Swafford said, "It is critically important for our country to unite as one. The ACC is committed to creating meaningful change, eradicating racism, and upholding the values of equality, diversity, and non-discrimination." Although it is important how these student athletes perform on the field each Saturday, it's also important the movement that they support off the field, and they did that on Tuesday. Guys?
Great work, Jake. Very nice and good to see from the Virginia Tech football team. And now for our keys to the game, I think a big thing for Virginia Tech is going to have to be controlling the ball and keeping that Liberty offense off the field.
Yeah, the Liberty offense, you mentioned it plenty of times before, how they can change the outcome of this game. For my keys of the game, the Hokies just can't look past this matchup. You look at the down the road, you have Miami, Pittsburgh, Clemson, and Virginia. Those are all great matchups, and as players, they got to be looking forward to those matchups, but you cannot overlook the Liberty Flames just because they're a non-conference opponent.
Exactly. And Liberty, their keys to the game as well. And very similar for both these teams is Liberty maybe haven't played the best opponents, but still allowed more points than they'd like to. And so I think it's going to be the same for Liberty. They're going to want to keep Tech's offense off the field and force Virginia Tech to throw. You talk about Tech having the least amount of completions in the ACC. They're going to want to stop Herbert, take away that option of Herbert, and they're going to want to force Hendon Hooker to throw.
Well, it's going to be a great game indeed. Let's throw it down to reporters, though, who have some predictions on what they think is going to happen out on the field.
Liberty's come into this season with a magical 6-0 run, including beating an ACC team already this season up in Syracuse. I think the magic ends on Saturday with Virginia Tech pulling it out 34-23. Shelton?
This is going to be a high-scoring game. Both teams can really move the football. I think the Hokies are going to win in the trenches. They're going to go to their running game with Herbert. Liberty, though, can put up some points with MALIK WILLIS. In the end, though, the Hokies have more talent. They will win this game 41-24.
Thank you very much, Sheldon and Jake. And now, Aiden, I'm going to ask you who's going to win this matchup and why.
All right, we got two very good teams coming in. Two great offenses with a lot of firepower, two defenses with a lot of potential. But I think the first half, very Big 12-esque, bit of a track meet. I think the Flames give the Hokies a scare, but Tech goes into the locker room, makes some halftime adjustments. I got this one, 52-28, Hokies pull away late.
It's going to be a beautiful day in Lane Stadium with a high of 68 degrees, a noon kickoff, which will be on the ACC network. Josh Coover and I will be on the call for 3304 Sports. That's going to do from our coverage here on the 3304 kickoff. We have Evan Hughes working behind the camera today, Sheldon Moss, Jake Lyman as our reporters, and Aiden Butler and myself as hosts. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.